Today I'm joined by the incredible Brit-nominated singer and songwriter Gracie, who, as well as writing her own songs, has also written an incredible number of hits for the likes of Jonas Blue, Ollie Murs, Kylie Minogue, and also recently released her EP Fragile with some fantastically catchy bops, as well as some emotional deep dives. Firstly, how are you doing, Gracie? And did you have a good bonfire night weekend?
Oh, thank you. Very nice intro. I did have it. Actually, I think Bonfire Night is one of my favorite, if not my favorite holiday. And my friendship group always hang out together on that day. It's just like a little tradition, but we didn't see any fireworks
Oh
this
no.
weekend. I'm fuming. Yeah, I'm fuming. I need to get more organized. And also, like the one night we were going to, I was like in the studio, and I was like, you know what, I have to prioritize my job over like going to see some sparkles in the sky. So I did have to go to a fireworks thing, but the vibes were still there.
Yeah, I was the same. To be fair, I ended up not doing anything on
Not
Fortnite Night
really.
because my dog gets quite scared of them. So I
Yeah,
was
I was
like,
gonna say pets always, it's so sad when you see your little pets. You're just like, no, protect them at all.
so yeah. But anyway, that's good. Good to hear you had a good Fortnite Night. Now, before we get into your EP, I wanted to start with how you got sort of into music, because I think it's a really fascinating like story that you had when you started writing. So I just wanted to go
Yeah.
into a bit of that.
Well, I started putting up like SoundClouds and like little snippets of songs I was like writing, literally on the floor of my bathroom onto my phone, just like voice noting it.
Yeah.
And I'd always kind of written songs, but like I think everyone writes songs, you don't really think anything's gonna come of it. And then got approached by this like UK kind of songwriting house called Xenomania, who did like loads of the early like 2000s like British pop music. Like
Hmm.
they kind of they did all of Girls Aloud, they did like
Wow.
Scout for Girls, like they were just a huge like big prominent like pop house. And the guy that runs it wrote Believe by Cher.
Wow.
So it's like it was like a big old deal. And I was 16 at the time. So I was like, oh.
Wow.
And I started after school on Fridays going there as a songwriter and just doing melodies for them over like loads of tracks that their like producers had written. And that's kind of how I started. And from then I ended up leaving Xenomania and meeting my manager, who still manages me today. And she's like my big sister. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
just
nice.
kind of it just happened really naturally from there, just like meeting people. And I had like my first kind of top 20, I guess, as a
Mhm.
writer when I was 18 with Jonas Blue
Wow.
by your side. So yeah, it was weird little journey, but I look back and I'm like, you were so young. Like, how did you do that?
Yeah,
Little
yeah. When I found out
girl.
that you'd started sort of writing stuff like that at 16, I was just in awe because it's an incredible thing to
No,
start
but you
with.
know, I think when you're 16, you're just like you're you think you're fully grown. Like you're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I'm gonna write songs about my GCSEs and everyone's gonna love them. And like I look back and I'm like, no, this girl was a mess. Like sometimes I hear the songs I wrote back then and I'm like, oh dear, who let me go in the studio? Awful.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, when I was at school, I had all sorts of ideas about exactly what I wanted to do, and I thought that I was grown up and that was it. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Now, in terms of musical influences, one thing that you've said before is that you've been influenced by artists that sort of really connect with their fans. Do you always bear that in mind when you're sort of writing sort of music?
I think it comes more naturally as well. Like naturally, the people that are the most honest are the ones that you end up connecting with. And by you, I mean me. Like
Yeah.
they're the people that I tend to like be drawn to because I think, especially since being an artist, I can have a new appreciation for it. But it's like so brave to be so honest in your songs and like really like write lyrics that are gonna help articulate people and articulate like other people like how they feel. So I think like yeah, I naturally am drawn to artists like that. I think people like artists like Lord has
Yeah.
been a huge influence like that. And like Sia less so with, I mean, to be fair, her lyrics are amazing. Like, Elastic Heart is one of the best
Mm.
written songs, I think, pop songs. But I think hers is more like done with the way she uses her voice. Like I
Yeah.
think she uses her voice in such an interesting way, which like regardless of what language you speak, you understand the emotion she's trying to sing. So yeah, I think and I try my best to imitate it for sure.
No, you do it very well. In terms of influences as well, one thing that was you had on your Instagram a while back, which I absolutely loved, is when you were doing "Life Is a Highway" by Rascal Flatts. Do you think it's an underrated bop? Because I've always loved that song.
Oh
Whenever
my
it's
god,
come out.
you know. Yes, of course, it's such an underrated pop. It's like you hear it occasionally, and you're like, this is why I started listening to it loads over the summer because I was rewatching The Office,
Yeah.
and the US office, and it's in like one of the scenes in the US office, and I was like, this is the song I've been trying to remember what it's called. And then I just like went on a massive like I started doing like live shows over the summer, and I was just like, right, well obviously my pre-show playlist is this song repeated times with one song of Lizzo's, and then we're done. Like that's it. So me and my band just love it. It was the first thing to play after my headline show as well. Like Gracie goes off, don't leave love's finished, 3, 2, 1. Laugh is highway. It's good. It's good. Highly
Yeah,
recommend.
I saw you doing that on your behind the scenes thing for your O2 headline show in Islington.
Oh right, yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so
The
how did you find the shows this summer? Because you almost grown up as like a pandemic pop star. Sort of your growth has sort of been throughout
then
the pandemic. So how was it to finally perform at all these different festivals?
yeah, I love that. I love that term. I thought it's my new little my little trinket. I love, yeah, no, it's been, I mean, it's been insane. Like, I think it's opened up a whole nother level because I started like just as we went into the pandemic as an artist. And even before that, like I was having problems with my voice where I had to have a
Mm,
surgery and like it was just a big old mess. So like I'd never really done a proper live show where like you know people buy tickets to come see you and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I did like one show before lockdown, my first ever show, which was like 100 capacity.
mhm.
So it's just mental, like going into a lockdown for a year and a half and coming out and playing like Reading to 8,000 people, just mind blowing, like mind
Yeah,
blowing. And I feel like it's like I always thought writing was going to be my main thing, but I genuinely feel like performing is like the thing I'm maybe best at, or maybe like
mm,
feel the most comfortable doing, because it's like I don't know, just like lose yourself in it. It's insane. So I should have probably predicted that because I've always done like performing growing up, but
yeah.
nah, it's crazy. I'm so excited to do more like next year. I'm ready. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that because when you went to the Brit School, didn't you? But you didn't study music. You studied, was it performing arts you studied? So,
Yeah, I did musical theatre, but I
oh, musical
always like
theatre.
didn't love it because I
Mm,
just thought I wouldn't like performing because like no nothing against musical theatre, like all my mates do it and stuff,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like it just didn't like excite me. Like it didn't make me feel like the way that like the idea of writing a song in the studio
yeah,
would make me feel. So like I always think of it like I remember finding out like how much someone on the West End earned, and I was like, oh, they deserve more than that.
mm,
And then I found out like, you know, what music people earn. And like 9 times out of 10, everyone who's doing music don't earn any money. But I was just like, I don't care if I make money. I don't care because I enjoy doing it. Like
yeah,
that's what gravitated me to doing it. Like it could be completely free and I'd be like, yep. And I'd work in a pub. Like I literally don't mind. So I think that was the thing that made me be like, right,
yeah.
this is the vibe.
Yeah,
But
that's nice
yeah.
to hear. So, if we get into your EP now, we'll start with the first track that you released, which was "What a Waste," which is sort of definitely a dance beat driven sort of pop anthem. What's the background behind this track?
Yeah, What a Waste was like the first song that sparked the even the idea of the EP. I
Hmm.
was kind of I think like doing an EP is a big thing because it's like I won't do an EP unless I feel like I've come to a point in my life where
Yeah,
like I need to reflect and like put out, you know, I didn't expect to do one basically at the start of
yeah,
this year. It was like the last thing I expected. But yeah, and I'd released a song called Got You Covered,
yeah.
and it was like, you know, it was actually about my best mate and her like eating disorder and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I had all these songs planned which were kind of more in like I went for a real garage stage like end of last year, and I was like vibing thriving to, and I was in the studio with like Craig David
Yeah,
and
I
all this
saw that.
stuff. It was wicked, like, and No, it just got to a point where it didn't resonate with me anymore, and I wasn't like feeling happy. I'd recently gone for a breakup, and
Mm,
I just wasn't in the place where I could happily put out these upbeat dance music without feeling, when you're just feeling. I
yeah,
was feeling really depressed and really sad, and I just wasn't in the mood to like pretend I was happy on the internet. And that's basically how Fragile started. Like from addressing the fact I was feeling vulnerable, which I never really do. I'm very bad at doing in my life.
yeah,
I've started to heal quicker, and that's why it's called Fragile. And What a Waste just was the first song that sparked it all, and it was
hmm
like the first song I was like in the studio with some of my mates that I trusted in the
yeah,
music industry, and just had like kind of I wrote it not thinking I was going to release it because I had all these other songs planned, and then I was just like, this is how I really feel, and
mm,
I keep preaching about being honest and loving people, so let's just go. Let's just release it and be brave.
yeah. No, that sounds, yeah. I mean, the next song that you released, The Internet, which was, you were incredibly brave song for you to release, and the fact that you did a video, I thought, to accompany that song was really fantastic because you sort of, I feel like you've taken all this negative energy and you've built this sort of online community with Gracie Verses and the Gracie Gang and everything. And that's really, really great to see. But do you feel like releasing this song, even though it was quite difficult for you, you sort of mentioned it there, it's sort of a bit of a cathartic process in terms of sort of seeing that people connect with it?
Yeah, definitely. I think the internet out of all of them was definitely the hardest because it was like really I mean the video you're referring to is it's just like a visualizer because I wanted people to kind of see the
Mm,
world it sat in. It's not like a music video. In reference to some of the comments that were like, this is a weird music video. I was like, hun, it's not. Um, but like that, I had to like step out the room like a couple of times because
mm,
that song just gets me every time I talk about that subject. It gets me because I'm still healing from it, and I
yeah.
think with like it still affects me on the day to day,
Mm,
and like I wish it didn't, but I think that's why it's important to speak about.
definitely.
And as social media platforms rise and people being exposed to other people's opinions even more than we were a couple of years ago, like it's really important to just like reflect on the fact that what people say on the internet does not have anything to do with who you are. Like people
Yeah.
don't know you. Like you just gotta like back yourself and spend that time that you go like scrolling, trying to like,
Yeah.
relate yourself to this like fake highlight reel of, Instagram and all these lot. Like you just have to spend it on like appreciating yourself and just like backing yourself. And it's harder said than done, but it's worth it in the end. And I've found that this year for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a great message that you're saying there because I completely agree. We talk about it. I've talked about it all the time with some of my friends as well because it can be a
Mhm.
very, very negative place.
Sorry, it's
That's
weird as
right.
well that everyone knows it. Like it's interesting that you said that. Like it's weird that everyone knows
Yeah,
it's fake, but we're all
we
just
still do
like,
it.
oh, yeah, fine. Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
tiring. It's just long.
it is. Yeah, it is strange. I agree. It is weird that we all sort of agree, but still do it. Now the
Yeah.
hot track at the moment from the album is Sad Song, which has a great lyrical story with the whole sort of cab driver, you being in a cab. Is this based on a personal experience?
Yes, it is. I got in a car after seeing someone I was in love with getting with someone else, and
Oh
then
no.
get in the car. Haven't got my headphones, and they're playing. I got a feeling. And I was just like, seriously, are we really gonna play? I haven't heard this song in about 4 years. It felt like a
Yeah.
prank. It felt like the Uber driver knew what was going on. And I just sat there like literally being so dramatic in my own head, just like, is this a joke? And then yeah, went home and basically that's how Sad Song was born. Yeah,
Wow.
because all I wanted was a sad song.
Yeah, I mean, that is probably the worst song you could ever have. That,
Probably, yeah.
like,
It was definitely up there because I was just like driving through Soho, watching all of these people having this like great time.
yeah,
Like, get me home, get me home
yeah,
now. Sorry, I don't know if I'm like one now.
yeah. Fair enough. And the other thing that song does really well, is it really exudes your skill with the sort of the heartbreak banger. Do you sometimes think that energy that comes from it is really good sometimes, even if you're sad?
100%. Like, I think look at Olivia Rodrigo. Like, she's absolutely smashed it. Good for you. Have you danced to Good For You in a club yet?
Yeah.
Because let me tell
Twice.
you, that, and like Dancing on My Own, Robin. Like, I will scream it, and there's nothing like it. Like, you can be vibing with a good song, like a good happy song, but when you get a song that like just allows you for 1 second to release the like bit of sadness that you're feeling, it is cathartic as fuck. Like, it's amazing. So that was kind of the vibe, and like I really get that, especially from my headline show where everyone knew the words to What Waste. It was wild. Like, it was like a therapy session. It was so sick.
Yeah, that's lovely to hear. And your final song on the EP is Can't Be Friends, which we return to sort of the slower things. It's got very relatable lyrics, and you sort of alluded to it there. Have you been surprised by any of the lyrics that your fans have sort of shouted back at you when you're performing?
Yeah, I still think it's like a hard one to get used to, like especially like Don't Need Love, because that's the one that like most people know. Especially at festivals, like it's just wild. Like, it's wild that something that's come from your brain is now being like kind of sung back to you. I always found it weird when I'd like go to shows that I'd like written songs for other artists, and I'd go to their shows and I'd like cry every time. So being the one on stage and seeing it, it's quite crazy. But yeah, Can't Be Friends is like, again, it's hard because, you know, when you put your whole like heart on the line and you say how you really feel, and it's like quite a touchy subject for you, it means even more when people are saying like, oh, this song is helping me get through my breakup, thank you. Like, it's crazy. It's just a cool world to be in. So very grateful.
Yeah, that must be a really full circle moment as well, when you've been, you know, from being below the stage to being on the stage, and seeing your songs, you know, the full circle moment of you performing them. It's really nice.
100%. Yeah, it's very, very fulfilling.
And moving into the future, what is the future for Gracie? I know you've alluded to some of the more Gracie verses. Have you got a favourite Gracie verses so far?
Yeah, I need to start that back up. I think I'm finally ready, because I released the Internet, which was technically Gracie verses. And I was like, I feel the mood. I was like, I think I'm gonna have to leave it a minute. So definitely gonna. I think I got so many ideas from last night's live, so I'm gonna be getting on it. So definitely before the end of the new year with the Gracie verses, and then next year I will just be putting out music every left, right, and center, all over the place. And there's some exciting collaborations, and yeah, just I'm really excited. And obviously touring is my number one thing. Like, I can't start writing an album without going on a tour at least once. So that's my main aim. Just get out, meet some people, like do some shows, get some experience, go to Europe, go to America, go to South America. I'm here, I'm ready, get me everywhere. So
lovely. Yeah, I can't wait to hear some of that new music. That sounds really great. I think one of my favorite Gracie verses that really made me laugh was the one where you did tourism around London, and you had that thing where you went to the London Eye and your legs had just disappeared.
I swear to God, that was not planned. Like, we creased. We actually, like, I had pain in my ribs because I was laughing so much, and everyone on the street was like, "What's going on?" But I hope we like dictated like how funny that moment was, because we were all dead. Like, we were dead. It was so good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're a fan of Gracie verses. I'll definitely bring them back for sure.
That sounds good. And finally, I have to say, one thing I really love about your fashion sense is your sunglasses. So much so, actually, that I have a pair, but I wondered if they are.
Hey, come on, boy, let's go. Wait, what have I got? Come on, then, my guy. I do. I have a whole little box of sunglasses. Oh, and I've just found some hummus. Oh my God, I've just found hummus. Right, I'm not getting that up because that's obviously. I've got a whole sunglasses box, which is nice.
Oh, cool. I just wanted to.
It's like a collection, apparently. Yeah. You know what I think? I think my idea for fashion is, firstly, anything that's a co-ord. I think fashion.
Yeah,
And secondly, if you just wear a pair of sunglasses,
Yeah.
you're done. Fashion
I
sorted.
agree. Just
So
can I make
you're on
sure?
it. You're on it, Sam.
Are these Gracie approved then? Is
They are
that
definitely Gracie approved. I might need you to
lovely?
send me those. I like those a lot. I like those a lot.
Lovely.
Hey.
Well, that's I think everything that we've covered. Do go and stream Fragile. It's an incredible body of work, and I can't wait to see what you get up to next, Gracie. It's
yeah, hopefully I'll get to chat to you soon. Have
Yes.
a lovely rest of your week. In a bit, Sam.
See ya. Lovely to chat.
Bye.